So I got a guest on tonight, Sam O'Sullivan. I've known him for many years. We come from the same area in South Wales, Merthyr Tydfil. Well, he's a little bit further in the valleys, but we work within the fitness industry for a very long time. Sam is a very successful entrepreneur. He runs his own gym back in Wales, in Cardiff. And it'll be interesting to see how he's been dealing with this pandemic, this crisis we're all facing, is running not only a team, but also a gym as well. So check out the video.
Things are really good, man, to be honest. I mean, in this period, I really capitalized things that I wanted to do for a long time. And I've taken advantage of the time I have. Like most people, we tend to put things off. And, you know, we like always complain we don't have enough time to do things. So I just been really like focusing on even like starting this little podcast series is something I wanted to do, you know, the end of last year. So it's been great. It's been a great time to reflect, to work on other things. But it's difficult, man. I mean, now the realization of everything is starting with people. And what I'm seeing, I don't know about yourself, is there's a lot more cases of mental health, physical health. You know, this quarantine is affecting people's well-being. So, you know, that's why I'm doing these things, trying to reach out and help people as well. So what about yourself? How you been managing?
Yeah, I'm flat out. I've never been so busy. Obviously, I think with the gym, we've had to put all the staff on furlough. You know, social distancing has meant obviously gyms have had to close all over the world. This virus has literally brought, you know, our lives as we know them to a standstill. But people's fitness and health and people still want to train, and it's so difficult to, you know, make sure everyone's all right when you can't see people. And like you said, people's mental health is a big thing that we're obviously focused on, and we've done a lot of stuff behind the scenes just to make sure people are okay. Like one of our PTs has organized like a FIFA tournament for the members, you know, and it sounds silly, but you know, people go to the gym, I think, to get in shape and things like that. But the reason they keep coming back is for the community, and it's relationships with other people. And I think that's the one thing that I think we've done really well as a company is, you know, we've transitioned onto online quite well. And I've seen a lot of PTs struggle and their client bases have just dwindled away. But, you know, I'm flat out, mate. I've been sat on my laptop since 8 o'clock this morning, so that's 6 hours.
Yeah, that's great, man. I mean, you've got to go with the flow and you've got to move with the trends of things. And, you know, what you touched on there was great in terms of, you know, you had to move everything online. You had to help all your clients out. It shifted everything, but, you know, you've been very productive. So before we dive in, just tell us a little bit about your background, what people don't know, you know, how you got into training, how you know, why you decided to open your own facility, and, you know, we can go from there then.
Yeah, so obviously, my name's Sam O'Sullivan. I'm a personal trainer here in Cardiff. Been in the industry now, 12 years as a personal trainer. This is my 12th year, which is, you know, it's gone quick because a bit like yourself, I love what I do. And I'm a big believer if you love what you do, you never sort of work a day in your life. So it's been a great 12 years and I've enjoyed every single minute of it. But I started out as a personal trainer, self-employed, straight in the deep end, finished off university. Didn't know what I wanted to do, really. All my mates were doing PGCEs and wanted to be teachers. At the time, I didn't like kids, really. As in, I'd coached in soccer schools and stuff, and I thought, you know, that's not for me. But the thought of being a personal trainer was something that appealed to me. Football's always been my passion. And I was a skinny kid. At 15, 16 years old, I got released by Cardiff City because I was too small. And that was the ammunition I needed, really, to hit the gym and start putting on weight. I went on the Guinness and steak diet at 15, old school, which looking back wasn't the best thing to do. But, you know, it worked. I put on some size. Like Valley boys with me and then, and I didn't interest really with my training. It was more just to put on muscle and doing more bodybuilding stuff, which, you know, got me interested in the scientific aspect of training, and muscles, big muscles don't necessarily move fast. So this is stuff that interested me, and you know, I got into it, and I was passionate about it. And even though looking back 12 years ago, I didn't really know what I was doing, you know, I just went out there with a purpose to help people, and I knew a little bit more than the people on the gym floor. And that was enough really to build a business in Newport Fitness First. When I joined Newport Fitness First, there was only one other PT there. PT didn't really work in the gym, I was told, because it was like not an affluent area, if you like. People there couldn't afford personal training. But within 3 or 4 months of being there, I was fully booked. I had an innovative approach. I bought some kettlebells, which 12 years ago was never heard of. I bought gymnastic rings into the gym. I was very much in line and looking at what was happening in America, and CrossFit was just growing there. So I was looking at these metabolic workouts and things like that. And I got myself a reputation in the gym of working people hard, and people enjoyed that, you know. So that's how it all started for me. And after 18 months of being self-employed, I became manager of the gym. I grew the PT team in that facility that, you know, where personal training didn't work, if you like, to 4 trainers. So we had a 400% growth in the trainers there. And sadly, you know, the gym closed down because it wasn't making a lot of money. And Fitness First was a gym, and, you know, we both met then when I come to Cardiff as manager. I think they closed your gym as well, didn't they? At the same time, because you was in Cardiff North. So what happened to you happened to me. But I was fortunate enough to be manager at the time. They got rid of the manager in Cardiff East, which was a big club. And they brought me in, and I was 6 or 7 years younger than the manager they got rid of. But Fitness First put trust in me. And basically what I did at Newport, growing the PT team from 1 to 4, I did the same thing in Cardiff then with the team that we had. I think I grew it from 11 to 19. We had 19 trainers there at one point, which was crazy for the gym that was that size. And from there, mate, I just had enough of being a manager. I had enough of caring about personal trainers' businesses more than they cared about it themselves. The fact that they had a lot of trainers had no go in them frustrated the fuck out of me. You know, what do you mean you're only working 3 hours and going home? You know, I couldn't get into my head that, you know, some people didn't want to work all day and make a success of their business, and they weren't prepared to do what it took. And I had a chat to my girlfriend at the time, Bex, who was one of my personal trainers at the time. And I decided to go back self-employed. And that was really the start of the gym that we have now in terms of how the group training started to flourish.
Yeah, I mean, man, I've known you for many years, and one thing that kind of sets you apart from many, very similar to myself, is, you know, and the same like-minded entrepreneurs, you know, out there, is hustling, man. And I think one of the reasons many personal trainers don't succeed is because they fall into this because they want a changing career, where with us it's been our passion, and we grind. I mean, like, a lot of things have seemed to come quite easily to you, Sam, but you have worked hard for it. I mean, so it looks easy on the outside, but the graft, like you said, you know, you found it easy to pick up clients, you found it easy to roll up this, but that was because you was relentless. You know, I remember the time where I don't know if you broke your ankle or sprained your ankle, but you was playing football and you was in the gym the next morning on crutches. And yeah, I knew, right? Because the thing is, what I'm learning as I'm going along is a lot of people, you know, not everybody likes you. A lot of people, they, you know, not yourself, but just generally, the bigger you go, the more audience you're going to have. And some people are not going to like you, and some people are. And I know a lot of people saw you that day, right, and thought, look at this guy, right? He's in the gym. Like, he should be off, but he's so concerned about money. Because I felt it. And I was like, this guy is building an empire. And he's so concerned about the relationship he has with his clients and the commitment he has to that. It doesn't matter if he's got a hopper on the gym. It shows his work ethic. He's willing to turn up no matter what the day is, no matter what the weather is. And again, that is where a lot of people fail, I think. They start this and they think it's going to be easy. They wait. It's like waiting for the bus to come. When you're waiting for the bus to come, it's delayed. Go and walk the distance, right? So you started your company in Dubai, in the UK, obviously. You've been running it for many years, and you transitioned into a gym. How have you obviously, what arose along the journey? Were you expected it to be, and with the transition from?
Well, I think the first thing a lot of people, personal trainers, do is like, I want to open a gym, okay? And I mentor a lot of personal trainers online now, and a few of them say to me, right, I want a gym like yours. And the first thing I say to them, why? Why do you want a gym like mine? Because the reality is, if you open a gym, you're gonna take home less money. You get paid last, yeah, because you're gonna have to potentially grow it to have staff. Anything that goes wrong, it falls on your shoulders. You know, your insurance rates are higher. You've got to start paying VAT, you know, and all this kind of stuff. And the reality is, if you want to earn money, you probably earn a lot of money. You probably wouldn't open a gym. I could earn a lot more money online, just training my clients, have a lot less stress. Yeah. But the good thing about opening a gym is I love it, mate. I love walking in there. I love seeing people, you know, transform. Having a team of trainers allows me to help more people on a bigger level. And if you're playing the game big, like we are trying to do, me personally, then I know that if I'm in it for the long haul, that gym is going to potentially, you know, give me a nice income when I haven't got to be there. So the long-term entrepreneur way of looking at it is, look, this isn't a 1-year plan. This is a 5 or 7 year plan, you know, and in 7 years' time, this business is going to be, yes, I'll still be involved in it, but I'll be involved in it because I want to be involved in it, not because I have to. Whereas the other trainers that are, you know, just thinking about it short term, and I can earn more money if I don't have a gym. Yeah, but then you've got to keep working for quite a long time. You know, you're going to be that PT that's 50 years old and still on the gym floor. And that's probably not what I wanted either, you know. So for me, it was taking the short term hit, you know, sacrificing 5, 6, 7 years of potential income to you know, have a business that's going to look after me longer term.
Great. And
yeah, that's the reason I did it. Yeah,
it's brilliant, really. Like I said, it gives you more credibility, and you're building an empire, like you said. And any business is run on margins, so you know you have a lot more overheads. And I quite say to Carly a lot of times, we have a few people working with us and for us. We are lucky in a sense. So everything is done pretty much online. I mean, we haven't got massive overheads. So, you know, we are lucky in that sense that, you know, in terms of if the money's not flowing, the cash flow is not too high, it's not really that much of an issue. But like you said, when you're running a gym, there are a lot more commitments, there are a lot more outgoings, there are a lot more responsibilities, but you are building that legacy. Let me just jump quickly. There's someone at the door. Give me just 1 minute, buddy.
No worries, mate. Yeah.
I've been kitting one of the rooms out here as a little office because, again, we kind of move in with the flow, really. We're trying to go with the way everything's going in terms of, you know, I've got the gym setting up out the courtyard. We've got the little office here because I'm getting used to kind of being home more often.
Look at this, mate. Look at that, mate.
Wow.
I've got a spot rack in my living room, mate.
Yeah, I mean, like, we're quite fortunate at the moment because we live in Dubai, and in all honesty, the space of what you get for the money you pay is like, it's not particularly great. But we've got a nice apartment, like 2-bedroom with the courtyard's a decent size for out here. So we've been able to kit that out into like a little gym. I got the gym coming in about a day or two. So like a full multi-gym with a Smith machine and cables.
Perfect.
And it's great to have an optimus of like just being at home all day, because that is affecting people, man, massively.
Yeah.
So it was somebody at the door. The wife got me like a gift for the little office here.
That's all right, mate. You'd have to edit that out.
It's great what you're saying there. I mean, you're making that transition and you are building that legacy. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to get you on, because what I want to be doing here, I want to be speaking with a lot of people that are into fitness, are influential, are into training, but it's not all just coming from one side. It's a mix of different people. And a lot of people will watch these videos who are personal trainers, you know, and are trying to make that transition. Like you said, for me, it's never been about owning my gym. It just never has. It's never something I wanted to do, just because I knew, and I don't know if it was, you know, taking an easy road. I don't think it was, because that's not my kind of personality. But I knew that there's not a lot of money in a gym. It's more about, like you said, you're building a brand, right? You're building a recognition. You enjoy what you do. But to compete with all these corporate clubs, I mean, they're open up it's just really hard to do. So like you said, I did the same. I made that transition, doing more online stuff, creating that online presence. And for me, this whole situation has been massively impacted because, in a good way, one of the problems I was facing, going back probably like 6 months ago, we were getting a lot of leads. People never really knew what online training was, online coaching. A lot of the people, unless they were into bodybuilding and used to coaching. So for me, it's kind of answered all the questions because now people are searching for an online trainer. Whereas I'd have to explain, you know, you don't necessarily need one-on-one. Yeah, it can be more beneficial. But, you know, so how have you been managing with obviously the situation? I know you're busy because you're like me, you know, you got your list to do. If there's nothing to do, you'll find things to do. There's always stuff to do, right? I mean, but how have you managed with obviously the situation the UK's been in? All your overheads continue going out. I know you've got, you know,
so
money backed up.
we pivoted as well as we can. So we've got a team of 7 trainers. So the 6 of those 7 trainers are on furlough, which basically means the government pay their wages. But they're all similar to yourself. They're all struggling a little bit with mental health. So they're happy. Not, you know, they haven't got depression or anything like that. They're just missing work, you know. I got a great team of people, so they're happy to chip in and help out with looking after the clients. They understand that, you know, if we were to pay them their full wages and not put them on furlough, the long-term health and detriment of SOS is going to be under threat because we've had to cancel all direct debits. So every single direct debit that goes into the gym, we've had to cancel because we're not a normal gym. You know, people are not paying whatever they pay just to use the gym. Our facility is a coaching facility. So what that means is you can only come when you book in on the app. So you book in at a time slot, whether it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We run sessions every hour on the hour from 6 a.m. till 6:30 in the night. And we break between 12 and 4 in the afternoon. Okay, so there's sessions running every hour in the hour, sometimes every half an hour at peak times. So our gym is a coaching facility, which basically means people don't pay personal training rates. They pay small group personal training rates. So one of the frustrations with me and why I thought about the model all these years ago was it used to piss me off. People would pay me 45 quid an hour and they'd have 1 session a week. And that's all they do. And I was like, this is a waste of time because they're not doing the program on their own. So I thought, right, how can I take that 45 quid and get better results with it? So I thought, right, what I'll do is rather than have 1 session for 45, they'll have 3. Okay, and rather than have that 1 session one-to-one, we'll have groups of 6 to 9 people all at once. Because I own my own gym, I can do this. So if you walk into SOS now, we got 8 squat racks in a row. So each person can have their own squat rack. Okay, they can do chin-ups, dips, anything they want on these racks. They're full racks, so you can squat inside, shoulder press outside. We created a gym now, you know, that the gym wasn't created and then we thought, oh, fuck, what should we do? We created the gym based on the service of the product. So we got 3 cable rows in a row, 3 lying leg curls in a row, you know, all the benches, all the dumbbells, duplicate dumbbells for our target market. So loads of dumbbells from like 1 to 15 because lateral raises, bicep curls. So we created this system, you know, which works really, really well. So I can now take that guy's £45 a week and he now has 3 sessions. In 12 weeks' time, his investment has done much better for him. He's changed his body shape, which is great. So going back to our gym, we don't pay, you know, 30 quid a month. Our memberships are £150 a month, £200 a month, £250 a month. So during lockdown, we can't expect people to keep paying us and supporting us. Like, you know, the gym's down the road. I'll keep paying you 20 quid a month membership. Oh yeah, I'll carry that on, you know. We'll support you for 6 months. Our members, you know, they can't afford to do that because it's such a premium service. So we had to cancel all the direct debits. Now we've still got the rent going out. We've still got the loans for the kits. Our landlord, obviously, is good as gold. We're still paying him because if we don't pay him, we need to pay him further down the line. Yeah. So we've kept all the payments going out that we need to. And we said to all our members, look, cancel your direct debits. Pay us £45 a month if you want to. All right. And we'll do group training online. So all the trainers now are doing, we've all got a little timetable in place. So we log on, we do Zoom classes like this. We had 13 on a boot camp earlier. Wednesday's conditioning day. And so is Saturday and Sunday. And Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Fridays, more body pads, you know, quads and back or posterior chain and pecs or shoulders. So we've got a good little routine going. Now we've managed to get close to 100 members paying us 45 quid, which is great. So that's 4.5 grand. you know, we've got coming in. That covers the rent. That covers most of the loans. I've created then another. I've picked up a few more online clients myself because I'm hustling. Like you said, I picked up 2 or 3, which is great. So that's like another 500 quid a month coming in. And we've also created a group called Project Health, which is basically a 45 to 75 pound a month subscription where they get HIIT workouts, kettlebell workouts, TRX workouts every month delivered on an app, daily accountability, recipes, and that's going well as well. We've had about 15 people sign up for that. You know, we only launched that last week. Again, on the phone, hustling, problem solving, and getting people there. So we've had a 25 grand loan off the government as well, you know, with the scheme in the UK. So we're okay at the moment, but you know, it is scary times. And if we didn't have that 5 or 6 or 7 grand coming in, which I've hustled for, you know, we'd probably be looking. We'd probably have 3 months, and then we'd have to close.
Yeah, man. I mean,
so,
it's more so the case in Dubai because there's nothing like that for anyone over here, and you know,
yeah,
unfortunately, a lot of people over here they live paycheck to paycheck. You know, like in many other cases in the world, but you know, things are very expensive, and there's no support for anyone really. So there's been a lot of people going back home. There's been a lot of people, you know, losing their job, being forced to take unpaid leave. I think we've lost him then. But yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of people taking unpaid leave, a lot of people forced to go back to the UK, forced to go back to wherever the country of origin. And it's just, again, that mentality where people are not kind of facing they really, we need to hustle. We need to sink or swim. I mean, it is literally down to us. It is down to our ability and our accountability to keep ourselves moving forward. And yeah, like I said, a lot of people are moving back home. A lot of people are, you know, are being forced to continue. Yes, we do.
Yeah, all good, mate.
And that's kind of another reason why I wanted to get you on, Sam, because like I said, I've always had tremendous respect for you. I know we come from the same area, and you still, you know, you're still striving in the industry very good, and you're still hustling. And I want to get that message across, really, that you know, a lot of people, they look at like discipline nowadays with a very, you know, bitter tone. It comes like as a bit of a stick. But as we know, you know, you got to be disciplined to do anything, and everything that you are doing on a daily basis is required around, okay, your task you have to do, how you're going to survive. You still got that kind of broke mentality in you, like I have, even though you're more successful than most. And I think that is what a lot of people are missing. And that's where now I think this whole pandemic and situation is going to expose people for what they portraying themselves to be.
Yeah. It's laziness as well. Like a lot of PTs, like one of the PTs that used to work for me, he's stacking shelves in Tesco's now. We let him go about a year ago because he was lazy, wasn't doing what I wanted him to do. So we just parted company, you know, with him. And I know that when all this broke out, he's like, look, have a little break. We'll catch up when it's all over. Well, like, do you know what I mean? You can't say that to your clients. Like you just, you know, yes, we got to hope for the best. But I think in every situation in life, you've got to prepare for the worst. You know, and I'm always like that. But what if this happens?
Yeah.
You know, like what if this Facebook ad doesn't work, or what if this program doesn't work? What is the next step? Yeah. You know, and I'm always thinking about my next ace of spades or my next trump card I can use, whether it is with a client when they're dieting, or whether it's, you know, leaving a few sets out. So if the result isn't there, we can add it in at a later date with a program. You know, I don't chuck everything at once. You've always got to have you know, a second strategy. Do you know what I mean? And hope isn't one of those strategies. You can't just hope for the best. So, you know, that's what we've done pretty well is we've put our product out there that we think is going to work. A lot of it has, but as you know as well, there's a lot of trial and error with fine tuning things. And that's what we're doing now. But you know, I'm working every day. I've got a good routine. I wake up every morning at 6. I read a chapter of my book on the sofa with a cup of tea. I'll log on. I'll train my first client online one-on-one at 7. I'll have breakfast at 8. I'll train my next client one-on-one at 9. I normally do admin then 10 till 12. Daily email, Instagram posts, put out some content. I'll normally train then 12 till 1 on my squat rack here. Go for a little walk to get some fresh air. Come back, have lunch. Then I'll do normally 2 or 3 hours more education, whether it's online courses, check-ins with clients. And then my girlfriend normally trains when I'm doing that. And we go for a walk. come back in the night, you know, I'll respond to emails. I've got a virtual assistant in the Philippines that does a lot of work for me. I only pay her $3 an hour. It's great. And she does loads. I'll check in with her, give her tasks to do. And then that's it then. Normally I have a few hours on the sofa watching Ozark or, you know, a bit of downtime. I think that's important as well. And then it's back to it, mate. You know, that's literally Monday to Saturday. That's my day. Sunday is a little bit less. I don't have any clients on a Saturday or Sunday. So a bit less time in front of the laptop in terms of coaching. But I do all my check-ins on a weekend. So it's just as busy, mate, you know?
Yeah, you have to be. I mean, like, a lot of people, they're going to be crazy because, and that's the thing, they're so used to being told what to do. They're so used to being working for somebody. Like me and you, we've been self-employed for many years. And I always say to people, like, now is the time you have to create your own agenda. I mean, we've been doing it for years. I mean, if we've been self-employed, if we wake up one day and we got nobody booked in, if we just think, oh, well, today's a day off, well, what happens if 4 days like that in a row? No.
Well,
you got to plan the attack. You got to create that structure. And that's something I've been like advocating a lot of my clients. And we've been moving with the trends, and we've come up with a good package. We do like a core coaching package. Because what we realized, we've had so many leads over the last couple of weeks, but everyone's a bit more reluctant to invest in themselves, which is understandable. So what we've been offering, because our online coaches are simply online. Sometimes I've worked with clients many years and I've never even spoken to them. And that's just how we work. That's how the results we get. But we've come up with a package. We do like a live Zoom call like this. It's literally a coaching call. It's, you know, strategically planning forward, understanding the client's needs, almost like a full consultation. But in that consultation, we come up with a solution to the problems they got. After the call, I send them a documented email with a structure I want them to follow, what I feel like is necessary for the next 4 to 6 weeks, and then they're on their way. And we can sell these packages for, you know, less than 25%, less than 75% from what we normally charge. But literally, the client is on their way. There's no accountability. There's no weekly check-ins, but it's affordable. And at this time, it's proven very successful. What do you think of going off topic? Ozark is good, right?
We're only 3 episodes in, but it is good.
Well, from the first one?
We just watched Gangs of London, and that's a great one. You'd enjoy that. I think it's important, you know, as a PT, when you're busy, like, you've got to have that downtime as well, because, you know, you're going to burn yourself out. And if you've got a missus and kids, you've got to plan that into your diary as well. You know, you've got to have time for your own mental health and a bit of time to escape. So I'm enjoying it, mate. It's been a nice little break and something to look forward to at the end of the day, because I think, you know, we're both similar. You know, I couldn't wake up and put Ozark on first thing in the morning. Like, it's just not in my mentality. It's something I do the last thing of the day. A couple of hours watching before bed. And I
normally do the same. It kind of, I need it. It's like a therapy of mine. I even need to read a book or watch a movie or watch something, because I do this. I fill in my lists to do, map everything out for my structure. Then I go on, usually watch something just to take my mind off work. But I've been fasting. I've been fasting throughout the period of Ramadan. So I've been doing a 16 to 17 hour fast every day. But I haven't been breaking fast until 7 p.m. So my entire structure, normally I would, like, say 10 p.m. I would finish my work. I would sit down with the missus. We'd watch a movie. We'd have our last meal and we'd relax. But now I'm up until like 3 a.m. in the morning, because I'm starting my day. I'm starting my meals at 7 p.m. and I'm trying to get 4 solid meals in and my workout. So I'm up until 3 a.m. So that just means, like, I can't, in my mind, it's like I can't justify sitting there at 10 p.m. watching TV, because it's still middle of my day. It feels. So
it's good that you're doing that, mate, because, you know, it's going to give you an insight into what your clients are going through. And I think a lot of PTs, all they do is they write training programs for, you know, they go on a course, they find out a new exercise, and they put it in all their programs, and they've never even done it themselves. You know, so it's good to, you know, to trial and experiment with things, and it gives you that first-hand experience then of exactly what your clients are going through. So,
that's why I'm doing it, really. I'm not doing it for any, like, you know, I've done a lot of research. And again, it's encouraged me to do more research. I've had many clients out with Ramadan period, but I've been looking more in intermittent fasting and learning a little bit more. I haven't been, the only reason I'm doing it is just for an experiment, just to see how I feel. And the biggest thing, like now, it's 5:45 p.m. and I haven't had anything to eat. I've been fasting since 3 a.m. this morning. And that is fine. I mean, the hunger for me is not a problem because I'm used to it.
You're used to it, aren't you?
Yeah. But what the biggest problem I've got is like you were saying, that structure. I like getting up in the morning and doing my power walk, doing my meditation, doing my yoga, sitting down, having my breakfast, and then moving on. And at the moment, things are a little bit different because they've been flipped around. So it's not sustainable for me. So, yeah. What do you think, obviously, now, Sam, with this? How can you see this moving forward, right? Because I honestly think, right, this whole situation is going to change the way everybody interacts and conducts their work for a long time.
Well,
how can you see the fitness industry moving after this?
Okay. Well, from an online point of view, you made a really good point. You know, people are buying, you know, from yourself, people are buying just plans, you know, and they don't really want the accountability. At the minute, people are more price sensitive. They're looking for maybe a slightly cheaper product. So you've hit the nail on the head there, what works. And that's kind of like the Joe, not saying you do Joe Wick style, but you know, you buy a 90-day package. Every 30 days, you might get the next routine. Now, that 90-day package is already built. It doesn't matter how the first 30 days go. You're going to get a second 30 and then a third 30. That's how Joe built his business. So we know that model works, and it is a mass model. But you know, I've done that model a little bit in the past, and I'm sure you might experience this as well. Is, you know, 3 weeks into a 6-week plan, you message people and they just disappear. You know, because that weekly accountability isn't there. Because there's not a lot of skin in the game, because people are paying a little bit less, the results at the end of it might not be there. Now, that's not your fault. You've written a great plan and it would work. But you can't predict the problem someone's going to get halfway through that plan without coaching. So, you know, that's one way you can go, I think, is to do what you've done there and just go for the masses. And you will get some really good transformations because you're playing the numbers game. Or I think the other end of the spectrum is you go higher end and you start really looking for those clients that are willing to invest, because this pandemic is going to affect a lot of people. But my missus is here. She's working from home. She always works from home. She's getting her full salary. She's not putting petrol in her car. She's not going out on a weekend. You know, we're not eating in restaurants. All the shops are shut. So she's got more disposable income than ever. Okay, so there's me on the one hand that's on 80% of my wages, and then there's her on the other hand that's got more disposable income. So I think with the online game, you could target the people that haven't been affected, and potentially charge a little bit more for a premium service. In terms of offline training, well, I think until there's a vaccine, your F45s, your Barry's boot camps, your big group training has got no chance. Those I wouldn't want to own an F45 right now, because how can you do social distancing in a small room with 20 people doing a glorified circuit class? It's not going to work, you know. And it's 45-15. You can't wipe down the equipment in 15 seconds, you know. So that's going to be interesting. I think one-to-one training is going to be the first thing that starts back with social distancing. But because of the fact there's social distancing, there's going to be less people in the gym per hour. So those peak slots, which are normally the most expensive now, they're going to be even more peak, okay? Because there's going to be less people in the gym. There's going to be a one-in, one-out sort of system at the moment. So I can see some gyms charging a lot more for personal training, and prices actually going up because the perceived value of having a trainer in a top gym, you know, it's going to be hard to actually get your hands on one. So I can see the perceived value going up. But then there's a lot of trainers going to be struggling because they haven't pivoted very well. And they're going to probably just do all they can to charge whatever they can to bring in whatever money they can. So I can see standards getting even lower in the industry as well. So I think this is going to happen. You're either going to go one way or you're going to go the other.
Well, I mean, that's the same in anything in life, right? I mean, like the same wind blows at us and all. I remember you saying that on the trip we were about Tony Robbins, and, you know, I've used that kind of term many times. So, you know, you could have a death in a family, and it could be, you know, spark you inspiration. Like, look at this. My father died many years ago. He wrote a diary for the last 44 years of his life. I kept it. I read it. I wrote a book. I got inspired to write the book. The book's in the hands of the publishers now. So, I mean, like, and it's how you look on things. So, I mean, I think the industry is massively going to get affected. I mean, it's like Dubai, man, the gyms are huge. I mean, and personal training is massive. I mean, like, some of the gyms here, if there's 2 guys training in the gym, one of them's a trainer. literally.
Yeah.
And it could be like, 10,000 people home to the gym, so 50% of that are trainers. So that's going to be massively affected because literally they just can't have that many people in.
No, so what you'll find is as well, like this is what a lot of people, they haven't even thought about. And I, obviously being a gym owner, I'm in the industry, people pay, like Pure Gym over here, they're the main commercial gym now, right? Now, Pure Gym is very cheap, okay? The membership is £15-20 a month. Now, the reason it's cheap is because, they do 24-hour gym, so it's any access. And the reason people are happy to pay, because it's not a great gym, the classes are not very good, the equipment's okay, it's convenience. People can go whenever they want to. There's 3 of them in Cardiff alone, okay? There's hundreds of them in the UK. People pay for convenience. Now, are people going to keep paying if they haven't got that convenience anymore? If they're queuing to go in at 5:30 p.m. or 6 p.m. because there's one in or one out, all of a sudden now, the main thing that people go to Pure Gym for, that convenience factor has been taken away. So what are those people going to do now? They're now going to look to gyms that are convenient, which means they're going to have to look for a higher price point. Okay, so there's 2 commodities. You either got time or money. For me, time is the most valuable thing. If I've got to wait 45 minutes to clock into the gym, and then when I'm in there, I've got to wait to go on treadmills and stuff. Fuck that. I'd rather pay more. So I think the gyms like ours or like mine could potentially benefit from that if we can find a way to, stick to social distancing and keep our members safe.
What is it? Have you had any news when the gyms are meant to be opening up there in the UK?
Well, July, they think that, potentially one-to-one training will be able to open with social distancing. But again, it goes back until there's a vaccine, like group training, like boot camps and small group PT, you're going to have to be very, very careful. So I think one-to-one training, we're probably looking at July, August maybe. And even then, we might only be looking at doing it outside, so that's it. In Denmark, my friend's got a gym and he's just put a tent up. He's put a tent outside his gym and he can train people in his gym, in the tent, one-on-one, but he can't train them in his gym one-on-one. So he's put a tent up outside his gym with the kit from the gym in the tent, and he's training people there. And that's classes outside because the tent opens either side.
Yeah.
So that's allowed in Denmark.
Like I said, I've got the gym coming tomorrow. I've got a few other bits, so I've got matted, all kitted out in the courtyard, and it's a decent space there. I've been doing that mainly for myself, to be honest, to document more video content and just to have my own little therapy room. But potential is there if I wanted to train people, and like you said, you can charge a lot more because people are time is more valuable. And like I said, in Dubai, we've had approval really saying the gyms are going to open very soon, and what to do when they do. And usually they do this a few days before they open gyms. But it just doesn't make sense to me, man. It really doesn't make sense. And I don't know how things are going to operate because there's far more cases now than there was when they closed things off. And it's either doing 2 things, right? In my opinion, and this is another topic, right? It's either because the economy needs to survive, and they realize if increase rises in unemployment, more deaths rise anyway. So they've gone, well, we either stop everyone working and people die, or we let everyone work and people die. Or another thing has happened. It's predictability that everyone is going to get more infected and the cases are going to rise if this virus is as deadly as they say it is. And if that is the case, will then people be even more fearful and even more willing to take a vaccine that hasn't been tested as much? Because what I'm seeing is this, right? At the moment, everybody's going online, right? Everyone's, you could say, forced to encourage. I mean, are sheep forced to go into the pen, or are they encouraged? It's the same thing. Yeah. But everyone's looking online. Now, when this pandemic first came up, there was a lot of fearful messages, right? Oh my God, now there's far more people speaking about really like the truths and what's actually going on. And I think it's like the message that wanted to get delivered is kind of getting overridden by a different message. And like you're putting out content, we can still move forward, we can still work, we can still strive, and giving out that message there. But it is a very worrying time, and for many people, like I said, it's been great, man. I mean, it's been difficult because I've been at home, like for everybody
Yeah.
else. I mean, literally, I've been at home. There was one point, right, Sam, in Dubai, where in order to go to the doctors or to go shopping, you have to apply for a permit, and the police would stop you, usually,
Crazy,
right?
yeah.
If you applied for a permit, you couldn't reapply for 3 days. So you weren't even allowed to go out for a walk to the shop. You weren't even allowed, you were literally isolated
Yeah.
in your house.
That's what the UK have done a good job with that, because, you know, they've said you've got to keep exercising, because I think they've realized as well that, you know, going back to your point, you know, people are scared of this virus, but you look at the people that are actually getting affected by this virus and getting terminally ill or actually losing their lives. And a lot of the time it's people with already preconceived health conditions, you know, so the obese people, people that are overweight, people that have got asthma, people that have got, you know, different immune problems, you know, they're the ones that are getting affected. So from a health coach's, you know, and a personal trainer's perspective, you know, that's a really good message. Look, there's nothing to be scared of with this COVID-19. Yes, the virus, yes, it's taking lives, but the people that are actually getting affected by this are the ones that are, you know, carrying an extra 20, 30, 40 kilos around their midriff. People that have already got diabetes, high blood pressure, you know, coronary heart disease, you know, whether it's, you know, all this kind of stuff. So I think that's the message we need to, you know, give out to our clients. It's not the fact that this virus is killing everyone. It's the elderly, and is those with already pre-existing health conditions. So, you know, I think if that's our message as as trainers or as companies out there to the public, that should encourage, inspire, motivate people to actually, you know, go for walks or get more active, or employ Christian as his online coach, you know, and take that plunge, because, you know, if this virus doesn't whip people into action, especially when they're losing loved ones or neighbors and family members or colleagues that have maybe like a similar age to them, like, I don't know what the fuck will. I think this could be the best thing that's ever happened to the fitness industry, because it's going to get people not just back in line with body composition, but just back in line with being healthy. Do you know what I mean? And I'm talking about physical health, and obviously we've already spoke about people's mental health and how it's affected that. But you know, I think a lot of trainers will leave the industry because they won't have enough fight. They won't be able to pivot enough. They won't be able to make it work. And that's going to only benefit people like me and you that can actually go the distance, you know, make it through the fight. And I think we should come out with this a lot better. But I do honestly believe that the next 12 months are going to be tough. You know, until we get at what's called herd immunity, you know, the only way and recovering from it. So am I concerned about going back to work? No. I'm young, I'm fit, I'm healthy. If you look at the amount of people in their 20s and 30s that have got no pre-existing health conditions, how they've got on, not very few deaths, you know, hardly any. So, you know, I think we're fine. Is the older clients, and if we're training people in their 50s, 60s, and maybe 70s, they are the ones that are going to be maybe a little bit more, you know, reluctant to come back to training straight away. So a good model I think a lot of trainers could potentially look at is the hybrid model, where it's not offline, it's not online, is that in between maybe they have a, you know, one-to-one session a week during with you, and then the rest of the program is maybe delivered online in some way or form. So, you know, I think they'll minimize the risk then of obviously catching COVID-19, but they're still going to be following a program, doing it correctly, etc. So that might be something that works, and that's probably going to be a little bit cheaper than doing it all one-to-one or all small groups. So, mate, there's loads of opportunities, right? Every obstacle is an opportunity.
I think, you know, like you said, it could be the best thing that's ever happened to the fitness industry, and I think it could be the best thing that ever happened to humanity. I mean, let's face it, man, the world we lived in going back a few months, it wasn't a good place for a lot of people. I mean, we were killing everything. We were killing each other. And I mean, this kind of whole situation now it's an opportunity to do something more. Like, I mean, read more, learn more, understand more. If you can't spend time alone on your own, there's something wrong. I mean, that is something that needs work, because if you're not happy with who you are, if you're not content, you know, so if being at home in this confined space is like enough to haunt anyone, then that is a problem, and that is your sign to work on yourself. And again,
Yeah.
you know, I've had so many people like contact me in the last couple of weeks because my marketing team been pushing out content. We've had loads of new leads, and everyone's like waiting for this to blow over. And I'm like, what are you waiting for? I mean, you're waiting for something to blow over. Now is the time. Last time we spoke, you didn't have the time to cook a meal. You didn't have the time to go to the gym. You didn't have the time to work out. Now you're at home. You know, and like you said, it's them people. Have they got enough fight? If this doesn't motivate them to move forward in the right direction, if this doesn't encourage personal trainers and fitness influencers to do something about it, to, you know, fight or flight, that's the message there.
Yeah, like I took on a new online client last week, and he's like, right, I want to get jacked. I'm like, right, well, let's be fucking honest, mate. You know, you've got a pair of 4K dumbbells. Now isn't the time to get jacked. Let's be realistic. But I said, let's prep for the prep. I said, okay, we know when the gym opens, we're going to get you on the barbell, squatting, deadlifting, etc., etc. But you've got one pair of dumbbells and a red band. We can't do that in your living room. You know, it's going to be very difficult to program, you know, the ability to actually accrue muscle tissue with that type of kit. Yeah. But, you know, we can work on your mobility. We can work on your sleep. We can work on your aerobic system. So when the gym opens again, when I program tri-sets or giant sets, you're not breathing out your fucking arse, mate. Do you mean you can get through it because we've lowered your resting heart rate, which means you've got a nice low resting heart rate now. The ability the amount of beats per minute from low now to max is like this, whereas before it was only like this. You was walking around at 100 beats a minute. Do you know what I mean? We can work on your diet, work on your nutrition, work on your digestion, work on your mobility, so you can actually squat ass to grass rather than doing a squat that looks like an inertia squat. Do you know what I mean? So now these are all, and he's like, fucking hell, yeah, I didn't think of that. You know,
it's foundation building, right? It's building that foundation, and the stronger the foundation, the higher you can go up.
Yeah, and he's one of those guys. I think that you know, he'd be the type of guy that if you put him in the gym, he'd want to, you know, smash himself every session, and that's not how you get results. You can't follow progressive overload if every session's taken to the brink of max. And I think you've learned that over the years. You haven't got to train to the point where you can't lift your arms up. It's just, you know, stimulating muscle growth rather than annihilating the muscle.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, though, if we can touch on it just briefly, a lot of people, they don't know the difference. So a lot of people think they're killing it, but really they're going at like 30%. Yeah. You take your body at 70% maximum exhaustion, and that's enough to make you feel like you're going to die. So you're not going 100% balls to the walls, because I've done that. And trust me,
I know.
You do one set, and you literally, I mean, Tom Platt said one thing many years ago. I was reading an article, and he said, like, in his late 20s, he used to squat, and he'd end up on the floor after his set, and he'd be there struggling to breathe, and he'd think, I wonder how long it's going to take me to get up. And then he said in his late 30s, he would squat, and he would push himself the same, and he'd lay on the floor for like 20 minutes, and he'd wonder, I wonder if I'm going to get up. Yeah. And that's the thing, is like, once you've pushed yourself so hard, one, you know, you realize how much you can push. And two, you realize it's not conducive, because your recovery, you can't recover from that. Your nervous system gets battered. Your muscle, you create more damage and more growth. And I always think of it like, you know, what the objective should be is to trick the body to think it's creating massive impact and breakdown. So it's more stimulation or more growth, but you're actually creating less damage. And that way you can just get more growth from growth, you know. But
exactly, yeah. And I think, you know, when you're programming for Gen Pop as well, you know, like normal people, I think it's knowing, like what I've learned is any compound movement, and I tend to have around eight compound movements in my programs. Only 8 I tend to use, and I'll be like incline press, bench press, dip, overhead press, front squat, back squat, deadlift. They're the ones I use in a form of chin-up. Like, I never take those exercises to failure. For me, those exercises are all about technique, good form, leaving 1 or 2 reps in reserve. And then it is when I get onto my B series with the way I program, which will be my dumbbell work, maybe my split squats, my lunges. They are the exercises then that I'll take to failure, you know. So I tend to push clients to failure on more, you know, not those big neurologically demanding exercises, on the slightly smaller exercises. And then on my C series, bicep, tricep, lat raises, you mean? So I program it in a way. But yeah, you're right. If you start deadlifting to failure, like, you know, the deadlift's got a 14-day recovery curve, so they say, because the lower back is such a complex muscle group involved in, you know, erecting the spine and things like that. he's got such a big recovery curve. So it's knowing where to push people, how to push them, and I think that's important. But yeah, we've all been there, mate. You know, first exercise in the gym, drop sets on back squat, don't make it to your B series. And you think, what the fuck?
Sometimes, and again, I think everything has its place. So, you know, for me, right, working out is not even about result anymore. I suppose it is, but it's not really about a physical result. Literally, Sam, I built so much muscle maturity over the years. I could not train, honestly, but I could not train, and my body just stays the same for a long time. I mean, I'm doing this fasting now, right? I'm doing 17 hours pretty much without food. I won't lose any tissue.
No,
because it's there. But for me, like, I fall into that trap sometimes. It's still a love of mine to really push my body. It's not even a case of, oh, this is what I need and this is a formula for results. It's like, no, sometimes I just see like the battle of my mind. How much am I willing to take when every ounce of my mind is telling me to stop? And I feel like I'm going to die. How much more can I push? And I do this sometimes. And again, it's counterproductive because I know it's not conducive for growth. But growth was never my goal anyway. The goal was like, let's see how far I can push it. You know,
it is good though. It's good because
let's run today until I can't stop. You know, not let's get to the shop. Go on, sorry.
It's brilliant because you know you're pushing, you're doing something when you don't want to do it. So when it comes to writing that program or sending that email or doing that one more diet plan, oh, I don't want to do that. Well, you know, last week you didn't want to fucking do the 250 kilo deadlift for 10 reps, but you did it. Sending an email is easy. You know,
I mean,
so,
and you could. That's why I encourage everybody, and that's why I fell in love with weight training, because it resembles so many, you know, situations we're in, that struggle. I mean, like when you're on that squat rack, right, and your training is a lot different to mine. I keep my reps fairly high, but the weight is still heavy. So if I was squatting, I wouldn't even squat to 8 to 10 reps. It would be like a 20 or 30 rep usually. So you go through a period of where it's tough, but you know you can keep going. And as you know, when you start lifting heavier, you either make the set or you don't. You can either do one more rep or you fail. But when you're doing like 80% of your maximum of a 10 rep range, you can push through them grinding sets. And like you said, you can relate that to many situations in life, even like this one now. You know, you feel like your world's going to end, but you have the strength and the ability to push through and to keep going rather than give up. And it's teaching that in people of like, you know, are you going to throw in the towel when it gets hard, or are you going to push through? You know, like your business now, right, Sam? Your business is your life, same as mine. You're willing to die for it. There's no way you put in. It's like your baby. You're not going to let your baby sit there and die. You're keeping it going. And because of the training and the influence that's had to you as well, and you the same. I've trained with you. I've seen you train many years. You like to push your body. You know, you really do like. That teaches you so much more that you can apply into everyday life.
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, mate, I can't add any into that. You're spot on. I think, you know, sport is as well, you know, it teaches you to not get too carried away when things are going well. And then when you lose and things are not going too well, not to be too hard on yourself. You know, you just got to get back out there, put your boots back on and play another game.
Well, Sam, thank you very much for your time. I know you're a busy guy, and it's been nice. It's been a long time since I caught up with you, but the first place we're going to come home is going to be to the UK. I mean, when we can fly, we like to travel a lot, but when we can come home, when we're able to fly, the first place we're going to come is the UK. And if things are lifted, I'll certainly come back and we get a workout in as well. And
have a session, mate. No sets of 30 on the spot though.
Okay, right, nice one. Thank you very much, buddy. See you soon. Take care, bud. Bye. So yes, another great interview, podcast, conversation, discussion, whatever you want to call it, with a good friend of mine, Sam O'Sullivan. As you can see, very influential. He's got a lot to say. He always speaks a lot of truth. He always speaks with a lot of intellect, and he always speaks from the heart as well. So I hope you enjoyed. If you haven't done yet, please hit the subscribe button and subscribe, and stay in touch. Comment, like, share. I'd be interested to see what you thought of this discussion and what you think of the industry moving forward into 2021. Take care.